Christine Pitawanich with your weekly recap. We'll be catching you up on some of the biggest stories of the week. That includes Portland police cleared of wrongdoing in a deadly shooting at a Pearl District apartment. A warning, we have new body cam video that gives us a better idea of what happened. It may be hard to watch. The DA said on Thursday the officer's use of force was justified. Jake Holter spoke with a police expert and walks us through what happened.
This is body-worn camera footage of Portland police officers moments before using deadly force on a suspect earlier this month.
Eric, it's the Portland police. We're not going away. We need to talk.
Eric is 57-year-old Eric Scherer. According to police, Scherer had pulled a gun on a security guard at a grocery store days before. This information prompting this kind of response from police when executing a search warrant.
When they show up with shields and flashbangs, they're trying to protect themselves, right? This guy was at previous location with a shotgun. The shotgun was recovered, but he's on video punching out a pistol, threatening a security guard. So, of course, you're going to go with heightened awareness.
Ralph Salento is a former lieutenant with the NYPD and a professor of police science at John Jay College. He offers insight into how the officer responded.
When I see that video and they are going to use the gas to get him out of the apartment, that's to make him come to you. Cops get hurt when they go in because you don't know what's waiting for you in there.
Other residents on the floor of the apartment building evacuated before police released the gas. Once Scherer exited, the situation escalated.
Hey, let me see your hands. Come out with your hands. Point a gun at me. Point the gun at me.
This photo shows the handgun at Scherer's feet, loaded with a round in the chamber. Scherer pronounced dead at the scene.
I have no doubt that that cop did not want to shoot him, but he of course he did not. But he came out, the suspect came out with a firearm. Thank goodness that the shield was in front of the officer.
Salento says he agrees with the DA. This was a clear-cut case of justified use of force.
Rarely have I seen a more textbook use of force and a more textbook justification of a use of force, not in my recent memory.
Jake Holter reporting there. Portland police say the officers who fired their weapons are still on administrative leave, which is standard protocol.
Oh my goodness. This is bad. This is a bad wreck. This is a really bad wreck.
Yeah, look at that. 2 Oregon State troopers recovering after this serious crash near the Dalles on Monday. A police dog was also hurt. It happened at the I-84 exit to Highway 197. The troopers were responding to a crash involving a log truck when a second semi hit them. OSP tells us 1 trooper is now home, but the second needed extended medical care. Yes, you just saw that. We also got that dramatic surveillance video this week showing the moment that a pickup went airborne into a Tigard home. Amazingly, no one was seriously hurt. Alma McCarty has a closer look.
It was just as the homeowner had described it.
It was literally launched and boom, right in my house.
This video backing up the report from Tigard police that the pickup went airborne after hitting a dirt mound, clearing a retaining wall and flying roughly 100 feet through the air. Then it hit the house.
I just hear this boom and the house shakes.
On Friday, David Brudnock recalled what it was like to walk downstairs around 3 that morning to see this.
And I'm like, what's going on? Like I must be in a sleep stupor or something. I can't process like what I'm seeing in front of me.
The front of his house, the bathroom, a crumpled mess.
I didn't expect a flying truck.
The family of 5, including 3 children, all unharmed, made it out the back of the house to what David described as a swarm of first responders.
So yeah, they all showed up and they were all lined out there on Shoals Ferry, and it was a sight.
The 2 inside the truck, officers say, were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Well, there is more trouble for former Oregon Congresswoman turned Labor Secretary Lori Chavez-DeRemer. According to the New York Times, her husband is now accused of sexual assault. The Times reporting at least 2 female staff members at the Labor Department told officials the secretary's husband, Dr. Sean DeReamer, sexually assaulted them in the workplace. Sources told The Times Dr. DeReamer is now barred from entering Labor Department headquarters. KGW has obtained a police report that lists the Department of Labor as the location of a sex abuse accusation, though it doesn't provide a suspect name or specifics. At this point, it does not appear anyone has been arrested or charged in connection with the case. The Times reports the women's concerns were brought up as part of an internal investigation into alleged misconduct by Secretary Chavez DeReamer. She's accused of having a romantic relationship with a member of her security detail and abusing her office to take personal trips at taxpayer expense. Her lawyer has issued a general denial of those and other allegations. Meantime, Dr. Sean DeReamer is listed as an anesthesiologist in Portland. We've reached out to his office as well as the secretary for comment on the accusations against him. As of Friday, we have not heard back. To a big scare for students at Portland's Lincoln High when police stormed the building as they chased 2 stabbing suspects. This happened Tuesday and started with a fight on a MAX train that led to a stabbing near City Hall. The victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. The 2 suspects, a 15-year-old and a 22-year-old, ran off and were found about 30 minutes later and 12 blocks away near Lincoln High School. We're told a student mistakenly let them into the school while they were running from police. Officers say they found the duo trying to hide in the gym.
I heard a cop scream, get on the floor. You know, he had a pistol pulled out on like 2 kids.
We had to get in a corner and like be quiet and our teacher didn't know what was going on.
I was a little nervous. It was a lot of adrenaline, my heart was definitely beating.
In a letter to parents, the principal confirmed the suspects did not attend the school. Students tell us they saw the 2 dressed in black, wearing ski masks. No students were hurt, and the school says it's now reviewing security procedures. And you may remember this video from almost a year ago. We were there when Portland police made a massive retail theft bust. Finally, Multnomah County prosecutors announced charges against 5 people accused of buying stolen items from shoplifters, then selling them. Investigative reporter Kyle Boshi has the update.
We were there when investigators first raided Card Rhino in March. Inside the Northeast Portland storefront, police recovered tens of thousands of dollars in stolen merchandise, including electronics, appliances, and collectibles, all new and still in the box. They also recovered boxes marked for shipment. Now, almost a year later, prosecutors say they indicted 5 people connected to the massive fencing operation.
When we talk about dealing with organized retail theft, this was a major blow to a criminal operation.
Here's how it worked. According to prosecutors, shoplifters looking for cash would steal merchandise from big box retailers, then bring it to Card Rhino. They got paid a fraction of what the item is really worth.
So, for example, a $250 blender, they might give you $60 or $50 for it, brand new in the box.
Then the store would turn around and sell the stolen goods online. Prosecutors say thieves also traded stolen items for gift cards, then sold the cards to Card Rhino. The operation had several accounts on eBay, and there appear to be thousands of transactions going back several years. The case highlights an ongoing issue that we've been reporting on for years: retail theft in Portland, an issue that prosecutors say affects every corner of the community.
One is it does hurt the everyday consumer because it causes prices to go up. But 2, it hurts the businesses to the point where we lose businesses, where they no longer want to come into our area or stay in our area.
Kyle Boshi, KGW News.
Well, Oregon said goodbye this week to the first Black woman to be elected to the Oregon Senate. Avel Gordley died at 79 years old. She joined the Oregon House in 1991, serving 3 terms. 5 years later, in 1996, she made history when she was sworn into the state Senate. During her time in office, Gordley focused on criminal justice and mental health. She was also the chief petitioner for a constitutional amendment that removed the state's Black exclusion laws from the records.
I think she was very inspired by her parents, and seeing my grandmother interact with her friends, other friends in the community, and how they gathered as women and supported one another and supported the community.
OHSU named its behavioral health department the Avel Gordley Center for Healing in her honor back in 2008. Her niece, who you just heard from, said Gordley died of natural causes just days after she turned 79. New Seasons Market announced this week it has laid off 95 employees, less than 5% of its current store staff. The grocery store chain said a new union contract that increased wages significantly increased their labor costs. New Seasons says it offered a month of pay and 6 weeks of health coverage to those who were laid off. The company did not specify which locations were affected by the layoffs. Also, a more efficient PDX just weeks away with new exit lanes, shorter routes between concourses, and more local shops and restaurants. We got a sneak peek at some of the improvements on Thursday. We're talking streamlined exits, shorter walks, more bathrooms, art, concessions, both before and after security. As far as the timeline, we've already seen part of the unveiling. The South Bypass was removed to create a direct walkway between concourses B and C. Next month, you can say goodbye to the North Bypass for a direct walkway between D and E gates. And in April, you'll no longer exit the gate area through the stadium stairs, but go through the new exit lanes on the south and north ends instead.
So as we open up phase 2, which is the second 30% of the project, you'll see continuation of the theme of a walk in the forest. So you'll see additional trees, additional plantings. You also see and be able to really enjoy I think the shortened steps that the team has worked through.
In June, PDX officials hope to finally finish the front-facing experiences on the main level.
It's a huge day in the business of the NFL because this just doesn't happen very often.
The Seattle Seahawks officially went up for sale this week. According to the team's website, the late Paul Allen's estate has started the sale process. So how much could the team sell for? According to Sportico, the Seahawks are the 14th most valuable franchise in the NFL, valued at roughly $6.6 billion. But experts say depending on the bidding process, the final price could be much higher. Ben Fisher with the Sports Business Journal says their status of Super Bowl champions makes this a unique situation.
Teams that tend to sell historically have been closer to the worst team in the league than the best team in the league. This isn't a fixer-upper.
Fisher says the NFL will likely push for a new owner to be in place before the start of next season. Paul Allen bought the Seahawks back in 1997 for $200 million. Since then, the team has played in 4 Super Bowls and has won 2 championships. Let's talk about one of the most emotional moments of the Olympics. Ilya Malinin, after his disappointing free skate, shared more about what was going on in his head and how that translated on the ice. Catherine Cook spoke with a local Paralympian turned mental health coach about what we can all learn from his experience.
Falling on the world's biggest stage in sports. Ilya Malinin did it twice during his free skate Friday. The mistakes took the gold medal favorite off the podium. But on Monday, Malinin stepped onto a different platform, posting of the struggles he and other athletes face. Writing in part, on the world's biggest stage, those who appear the strongest may still be fighting invisible battles on the inside. Vile online hatred attacks the mind and fear lures it into the darkness, no matter how hard you try to stay sane through the endless, insurmountable pressure. It all builds up as these moments flash before your eyes, resulting in an inevitable crash.
Competing at the games is really difficult. There's a lot of pressure.
Lacey Henderson would know. She's a Paralympic track star and the mental performance coach for the Portland Timbers. By posting about his struggles, she believes Malinin could be a great mental health ambassador for anyone.
He just has a great platform now of everybody having seen it, right? Everybody's going to know this story, and he's going to be able to relay what really is happening for him in this moment, in the moments, not just leading up to it, but the moments after, I think, to be giving more strength to the people that experience it every day.
I asked Henderson how she'd advise Malinin if she were his mental performance coach. Her answer? Be grounded in the moment. She says anyone can do it when facing stress or pressure.
Feel your feet and feel your seat. Simple grounding, right? Pushing your feet into the ground, feeling your seat, your back against a chair. Sometimes just remembering where your body is in space. And just one breath, longer exhale on the way out is just an easy, simple reset of bringing us back to this moment. Because again, The only moment that we really have any influence over is the one right now.
We're not all Olympic athletes, but we're all human. Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Love that. Well, the Coast Range saw its first snow of the season this past week, as did some higher elevations. This is what it looked like on Highway 26 over the Coast Range Thursday morning. Snow off to the side, but smooth sailing pretty much by midday. And in the valley, we were spared sticking snow at low elevations since temperatures held above freezing. Speaking of weather, here's Rod with a look at your weekend forecast.
I'm meteorologist Rod Hill talking about your weekend weather. I always remind you, I don't care where you check your weather forecast, on your phone, on your laptop, it's important to always know when was that forecast laid down. We're putting this forecast down for you in the 9 o'clock hour on this Friday morning. But I feel like the outlook for the weekend is kind of locked in because it rolls around this upper level low that's going to be dropping down out of the Gulf of Alaska. The low, which doesn't look overly impressive right now on satellite imagery, will double in size and then park itself for about 4 days right off of the Oregon coast and become a good rainmaker. It's going to just spin a number of little plumes of moisture coming in. So each day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we'll probably see a period of some steady, widespread rain. Then that will move off. We'll get a little dry or showery break, and then another one will come in, and et cetera, et cetera. Again, the pattern goes all the way through Tuesday. Weather modeling is pretty consistent on over the 4-day stretch. The numbers will equal to be 4 inches or more at the coast and equal to be 2 inches or more as we go into the valley. Snow levels aren't going to go crazy high. If the modeling is correct, snow levels will rise up to about 4,000 feet on Saturday. Could be as high as 5,000 Sunday morning, but no higher, and then be kind of around 4 to 5 on Monday into Tuesday. So if that's correct, and remember this is not a tropical moisture feed, it's coming down out of the Gulf of Alaska, I don't really think we're going to have any problems or concerns with high water or high snow melt runoff. I think we'll be able to handle 4 inches at the coast over 4 days, 2 inches in the valley over 4 days, and snow levels not getting crazy high, which means the snow melt should be somewhat tame, if you will, each day. So that's the plan, anyway, that we're looking at. I mentioned that the snow levels, even for the weekend, could be above 4,000 feet at times, with the highest snow level probably being Sunday morning. Weather model gives us about 6 inches of snow all total. This is just for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday around Mount Hood, up at Government Camp. So if you are planning to go hit the mountain, I would say Saturday's your best bet for lower snow levels. Sunday could be a little bit of a dicey mix with it being wet at times. Here's the way it looks on the 7-day. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's our 4-day run of each day seeing occasional shots of rain coming and going. Notice we get warm, but not crazy warm. Overnight lows get up into the 40s. Daytime highs not expected to be much above 50. And if the forecast doesn't change, the next time we see a completely dry day would actually be Wednesday of next week. So I'm meteorologist Rod Hill, wishing you a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
And that's a wrap on your weekly recap. I'm Christine Pitawanich. You can always catch up on the latest headlines anytime on KGW.com, your KGW app, or our YouTube channel.